I don't prompt Claude anymore. I have loops running that prompt Claude. My job is to write loops. Beat.
Man, a year ago, that quote would have sounded like pure science fiction. Everyone was completely obsessed with prompt engineering back then. We were all just chasing the perfect sequence of magic words.
Right. But the industry quickly realized that brilliant prompts fail without good context. So we naturally shifted our focus toward context engineering. We started handing the model the right files and history.
Yeah, but handing over files is great for just a single task. And we are moving way past single tasks into full automation now. We are firmly entering the era of loop engineering.
Exactly. So today we are taking a deep dive into what a loop actually is. We're also unpacking 9 free AI skills you can install right now. You just grab the GitHub links and run them.
Yep, you can install them today to build your own systems, but you cannot just tell an AI to work and walk away. You really need to understand the underlying raw materials first.
For sure. So before building the house, let us define the bricks. A loop is essentially a small, highly autonomous worker. It actively finds specific tasks completely on its own.
Right, and then it hands that work directly to an AI agent.
It checks the final result for quality. Then it decides the next logical step entirely on its own. It does all of this without you typing a single thing.
But those individual steps need strict, repeatable definitions. The AI needs clear constraints to function properly. That brings us to the core concept of an AI skill.
We should clearly define that term for everyone listening. An AI skill is a reusable instruction file making AI follow the exact same pattern.
I like that. Think of an AI skill as a single, solid brick. The loop is the house you build from those bricks. Right now, most people are still trying to live in a single brick.
Which is pretty limiting. We need to start stacking them together to build real systems.
People also frequently confuse these individual skills with AI plugins.
Oh yeah, huge difference there. A plugin is a massive, heavily bundled software package. It carries its own custom agents and dedicated servers. Whereas an AI skill is an incredibly lightweight text file. It just gives your model a predictable baseline behavior across sessions.
Exactly. It just sets the ground rules.
I get the appeal of not starting from scratch daily, but if an AI skill is basically a well-packaged prompt, why go through the trouble of installing it? I mean, I can just paste my coding preferences into the chat box.
Well, pasting rules manually degrades rapidly over long working sessions. The model slowly forgets your preferences as the context window fills up. Installing a skill bakes those instructions deeply into the system prompt.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, it guarantees the agent follows your constraints on token number 10,000.
So it stops us from constantly re-explaining basic rules to the AI.
Precisely. That system prompt injection is the foundation of loop engineering. Let's look at simulating a complete virtual engineering team. This brings us to a tool called GStack by Gary Tan.
Gary Tan from Y Combinator.
Right.
GStack sets up distinct, highly autonomous engineering roles. You get a virtual CEO, an engineer, a reviewer, and QA.
Yeah, and you summon the specific persona you need for the task. They actually communicate by passing structured JSON files back and forth. The CEO writes a product spec and passes it down.
Then, the engineer reads that JSON file and writes the code. Gary Tan claims he writes massive amounts of production code daily with this, up to 20,000 lines while running Y Combinator full-time.
Which is wild.
It is, but bulk generation usually just results in a bloated, unmaintainable mess. Does simulating a CEO persona actually change the quality of the raw code generated?
That skepticism is totally fair when discussing bulk AI code. Standard AI agents just optimize for completing the immediate narrow coding task. The CEO persona fundamentally alters that underlying generation mechanism.
Interesting. How so?
It introduces a rigid constraint layer based on business value. It actively rejects code that doesn't serve the core product goal. Then the reviewer persona checks the engineer's work against the CEO's spec.
So it forces the model to weigh the code against broader business logic. It stops the agent from building useless, overly complex features.
Right, exactly.
It provides top-down context, keeping the code focused on real business goals.
Yeah, that top-down focus completely prevents endless, sprawling feature creep. But, generating new code is only half the battle here. Reading and understanding old code is often much harder.
Oh, absolutely. I still wrestle with prompt drift myself when managing large code bases. Beats.
Oh, we all face that mental drift eventually. Vaibhav Sisanti built an AI skill called Understand Anything to fix this. It completely reimagines the traditional developer onboarding process.
Most AI tools just try to read the code line by line. But understand, anything flat out refuses to read code that way. It actually parses the abstract syntax trees of your project files.
Wow.
Yeah, it maps out how every single module and function connects together. Then it generates a massive interactive visual dependency graph. You can physically see the data flowing through the application.
That is huge. So it explains the codebase exactly the way a senior engineer would. It breaks down the entire system architecture visually for a new hire. You grasp the massive interconnected picture in minutes instead of weeks.
Mm-hmm. It is perfect when you inherit a messy project you never built.
Yeah.
So your virtual team is coding efficiently and understanding the architecture. But efficiency does not always equal a great final product.
Definitely not. Sometimes the AI output just feels completely lifeless and hollow. We all instantly recognize that dreaded robotic AI vibe.
Yeah, those overly complex words in perfectly balanced but soulless paragraphs. We need specific skills to aggressively humanize the output. Hardik Pandya built a skill called stopSlop to cure this.
stepsGStack, great name. It strips out the repetitive patterns that make text sound artificial. Most people just tell Claude to sound more human in the prompt, but that generic instruction almost never actually works.
Right, the model just ignores it. How does stopSlop mathematically force a different writing result?
It actually targets the language model's actual token probability engine.
Yeah.
Models mathematically favor words like delve or tapestry or robust. stopSlop applies a massive negative weight to those specific tokens.
So it mathematically forces the AI to choose the second most likely word.
Yes. That simple constraint shatters the predictable robotic sentence structures instantly. It uses a strict set of rules to teach Claude about slop. Then it actively guides Claude to rewrite entirely around those tired patterns.
It breaks the mathematical predictability, forcing the model to write naturally.
Exactly. And that exact same mathematical predictability plagues user interface design, too. Anthropic engineers recently wrote a fascinating post about this exact phenomenon. AI models heavily default to templated looks when designing web pages.
You almost always get the interfont on every single generation. You get purple gradients layered over a stark white background. The CSS animation is always kept to an absolute bare minimum.
Always.
Why do these powerful models mathematically default to safe purple gradients?
Well, they optimize for the absolute lowest possible design friction. The training data literally averages out millions of human web pages. The mathematical middle ground of the internet is a safe corporate gradient.
They just average the internet, and the web loves safe purple templates.
Right. So to break this cycle, Anthropic released the front-end design skill. It forces Claude to commit to a specific style before coding. It separates the visual design logic from the structural HTML logic.
It forces the AI to define CSS variables for colors first. There's also another brilliant tool called the taste skill. It gives you adjustable dials for the model's design parameters.
Yeah, you can dial the design from calm and minimal to fully brutalist. It forces the AI to make bold, highly opinionated visual choices. It stops the model from constantly seeking the safest middle ground.
We have to offer a very quick functional warning here, though. A beautifully brutalist design that buries the actual product is useless. It still counts as a massive fundamental failure of design.
Absolutely. Functionality always has to lead the design choices you make. Good design must always serve the underlying purpose of the page.
So we have finally fixed our outputs and our interfaces. Let's talk about revolutionizing how we process our raw inputs. Research and organization are where these AI skills get really interesting.
For sure, managing large amounts of messy information is incredibly difficult. Graphify completely transforms how we handle scattered folders of notes. You just run a single, simple command inside your directory.
Andrej Karpathy posted a rough idea for this workflow on X. Just 48 hours later, Graphify appeared matching his exact description. How does it actually connect these completely random text files together?
It uses a small language model to extract entity relationship pairs. It scans every single note looking for proper nouns and core concepts. Then it mathematically links separate files that share those exact entities.
So it builds a beautiful, connected visual knowledge graph from raw text. Notes become nodes, and shared concepts become the connecting edges. It creates a spatial map instead of a flat linear list.
Yeah. The launch post highlighted a staggering token reduction metric, too. You stop feeding the entire folder into the massive context window. You only feed the specific graph nodes you actually need right now.
The numbers are absolutely staggering.
Right.
Whoa. Imagine scaling to 71.5 times fewer tokens per query. That is massive. 2-sec silence.
It completely changes the economics of managing a digital second brain. You can surface hidden patterns without spending a fortune on server compute. Which brings us to another incredible research tool for your workflow,
Trying to keep up with industry trends requires endless tab switching. Last 30 Days is a skill built by Matt Van Horn. It takes that entire messy research job completely off your plate.
Yep. You just give the AI skill a single topic to track. It bypasses standard, sanitized Google search results entirely. It actively scrapes X, Reddit, and specific forums over a 30-day window.
Then it pulls everything into one clear, expert-level briefing document. But corporate websites usually offer highly polished, heavily sanitized data. Does pulling data straight from Reddit risk injecting too much noise into the research?
Reddit definitely contains a lot of noisy, irrelevant garbage, but it also contains unvarnished troubleshooting and real human opinions. The skill uses a secondary AI agent just to filter that noise.
It captures real-time human sentiment, balancing out sterile corporate web data.
Exactly. It discards the meme responses and compiles actionable, verified user workflows. It finds the weird workarounds that are actually working right now. As one user perfectly described this specific AI skill online. 30 days of deep research, 30 seconds of actual work.
We are going to pause for a quick word.
Yeah, this deep dive is brought to you by DataCamp.
In a world rapidly moving from simple prompts to autonomous loops, keeping your skills sharp is absolutely non-negotiable.
Totally. DataCamp offers interactive, hands-on courses covering AI, data science, and advanced machine learning.
And you learn by actually doing. You write code directly in your browser.
Start building your own foundational AI skills today by visiting datacamp.com.
All right, we have covered text, code architecture, and deep market research today. The final, most complex frontier for AI skills is video animation.
Oh man, this is a massive technical showdown happening right now. We are looking at Remotion going head-to-head against HyperFrames. Both of these AI skills try to solve the exact same job.
They turn a single text prompt into a real animated video. But they sit on completely different foundational computer science concepts. Remotion was launched back in 2021 with a huge community.
Yeah, and it is built heavily on the React JavaScript framework. It controls every single video frame using complex React component code. It also relies heavily on extensive cloud rendering servers to work.
HyperFrames takes a radically different stripped-down path to video generation. The AI agent only writes plain HTML, CSS, and basic JavaScript. It avoids modern JavaScript frameworks entirely during the generation phase.
I mean, I understand generating the basic layout code for a web page, but how does a plain text HTML file actually become an MP4? You cannot just play a text document in a standard video player.
Well, the system runs a hidden headless web browser in the background. It loads your HTML file and takes rapid-fire visual screenshots. It captures 60 high-resolution screenshots every single second.
Wow. Then it uses a command line tool called FFmpeg to stitch them. It literally stitches thousands of screenshots together into a smooth video file. A viral post recently compared these two methods using Opus 4.7.
They fed the exact same animation prompt into both systems. People were left to judge the visual output completely for themselves. The HTML video looked dramatically smoother than the React video.
Some developers actually wondered if HyperFrames was faking the results. They thought it was just a sneaky wrapper around the Remotion engine. Bin Liu, the VP of engineering at Heijin, answered that directly.
He confirmed HyperFrames was built entirely from scratch using basic code. The core philosophy behind it is actually incredibly logical and elegant. AI models struggle to write complex, bug-free React video components.
Right, but they understand basic HTML formatting and CSS animations flawlessly.
React is ultimately just another flavor of JavaScript. Why is raw HTML so much easier for an advanced AI agent to parse than React?
Mostly because HTML has structured the internet since the very beginning of the web. The model's training data contains billions of raw HTML pages. It has only seen a tiny fraction of that in specialized React code.
HTML is foundational web data. The model has seen way more of it.
Yeah, so letting the agent write what it knows best produces vastly superior results. You get much smoother text animations and cleaner vector logo reveals. Both skills work exceptionally well for short, punchy marketing videos.
They save hours of tedious timeline scrubbing in traditional editing software. We need to pull all these separate concepts together now. We have covered a massive amount of technical ground today.
We really have covered the entire modern development stack, from simulating a CEO to generating raw HTML video frames.
Installing a single skill like GStack or Slop definitely saves time. But simply saving a few hours is clearly not the ultimate endgame here.
No, the real power unlocks when you start stacking these tools together. You link planning, QA, deep research, and front-end design into one flow. You transition from writing the actual code to managing the entire system.
It is exactly like stacking Lego blocks of data. You call them automatically instead of explaining your needs from scratch. That interconnected stack forms the foundation a true autonomous loop runs on.
Exactly. It handles the tedious prep work before you even open your laptop.
Which leaves us with one final, slightly provocative thought for you. Beat.
It is the natural next step in this rapid evolution.
If AI skills are the individual bricks and loops are the massive house, what happens to our daily work when the loops become smart enough to start coding and installing their own skills while we sleep?
That question completely redefines the future landscape of human productivity.
Thank you so much for taking this deep dive with us today. Otiro Music.